बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स। आज मैं आपके साथ शेयर करने लगी हूँ Eng503 के कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट MCQs। ये जो फाइल है ये लेसन वाइज MCQs पर मुश्तमिल है। इसके अलावा भी ऑब्जेक्टिव पार्ट के लिए मैंने एक अलग से वीडियो बनाई है जिसमें क्विज़ 3 एंड क्विज़ 4 में रिपीट होने वाले MCQs की एक फाइल है जिसमें इंशाल्लाह आपको 100% करेक्ट सोल्यूशन मिलेगा। तो उसका जो लिंक है वो आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। आपने ये दोनों वीडियोज़ वॉच करनी है। इंशाल्लाह आपका पेपर जो है Eng503 का उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव पार्ट इन 2 वीडियोस को वॉच करने के बाद आपका कम्प्लीटली सॉल्व हो जाएगा। तो अगर आपने मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो काइंडली सब्सक्राइब कर ले ताकि और ऐसी वीडियोस का नोटिफिकेशन आपको मिल सके। और पेपर के बाद आपने मेरी वीडियो के नीचे आके कमेंट ज़रूर करना है कि इस वीडियो से आपकी कितनी हेल्प हुई है, ठीक है। तो जो चैप्टर क्विज़ेज़ में इंक्लूड थे उनके मैंने MCQs यहाँ पे अलग से नहीं बनाए क्योंकि क्विज़ेज़ में जो MCQs रिपीट हुई हैं तो वो उनसे तैयारी हो जाती है। यहाँ हमारे पास है जी चैप्टर नंबर 19। MCQs देख लेते हैं। व्हाट इज सिंटैक्स इन लिंग्विस्टिक्स? स्टडी ऑफ साउंड, स्टडी ऑफ वर्ड्स, स्टडी ऑफ अरेंजमेंट्स ऑफ वर्ड्स, फ्रेजेस एंड क्लॉजेस, स्टडी ऑफ लैंग्वेज एवोल्यूशन। ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट। स्टडी ऑफ अरेंजमेंट ऑफ वर्ड्स, फ्रेजेस एंड क्लॉजेस विद इन अ सेंटेंस। हाउ मेनी ग्रामेटिकल कॉम्बिनेशंस आर पॉसिबल फॉर द वर्ड्स मैन, बॉल, द एंड किक? तो इस सेंटेंस के कितने ग्रामेटिकल कॉम्बिनेशन पॉसिबल हैं? 5, 4, 6, 1, 20। ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट, 6। What is primary purpose of syntax? To study word meaning, to discover and formulate rules or principles governing the arrangements of words in a language, to analyze the sounds of the language, to explore the historical evolution of the language. Option B is correct. To discover and formulate rules or principles governing the arrangements of words in a language. Which test helps in identifying the constituent structure of a sentence? Omission test, substitution test, कंसिस्टेंसी टेस्ट, मूवमेंट टेस्ट। तो कंसिस्टेंसी टेस्ट जो है ऑप्शन सी वो हमारे पास करेक्ट होगा। व्हाट आर 2 टाइप्स ऑफ कंस्टिट्यूएंट्स? इमीडिएट एंड ओमिशन, ओमिशन एंड मूवमेंट, इमीडिएट एंड अल्टीमेट, कंस्टिट्यूएंट एंड सब्स्टिट्यूशन। ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट, इमीडिएट एंड अल्टीमेट। Which part of speech is used as a complement in a sentence? Adverb, noun, verb, adjective. Option C is correct, verb. वर्ब याद होता है, यूज होता है एज अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट, ये आपने याद रखना है। व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ एन एडजेक्टिव फ्रेज? एपी, एपी का क्या फंक्शन होता है? टू फंक्शन एज अ सब्जेक्ट इन अ सेंटेंस, टू सर्व एज अ एडवर्बियल इन अ सेंटेंस, टू एक्ट एज अ मॉडिफायर इन द नाउन फ्रेज और एज कॉम्प्लीमेंट इन द सेंटेंस, टू फॉर्म क्वेश्चन इन अ सेंटेंस। ऑप्शन सी हमारे पास करेक्ट होगा, टू एक्ट एज अ मॉडिफायर इन द नाउन फ्रेज और एज अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट इन अ सेंटेंस। Which phrase can be used as a complement or modifier in a sentence? Noun phrase, verb phrase, preposition phrase, adjective phrase. Option C is correct, preposition phrase. What does consistency test involve? Testing grammatical correctness, testing words meaning, identifying the constituent structure of sentence, analyzing sound pattern in a language. Option C is correct, identifying the constituent structure of a sentence. What is the head word in the sentence we had a picnic in the park? तो इसमें जो head word है पिकनिक वो नाउन है, तो ये हमारे पास करेक्ट आंसर होगा। ऑप्शन ए इज वी, बी है हमारे पास हेड, सी है पिकनिक एंड डी है पार्क। तो यहाँ पे हमारे पास ऑप्शन सी करेक्ट होगा, पिकनिक। यहाँ पे बाय मिस्टेक बी लगा हुआ है तो ये सी इसका ठीक होगा। आगे जी हमारे पास लेसन नंबर 20। व्हाट इज प्राइमरी फोकस ऑफ सिमेंटिक? स्टडी ऑफ साउंड्स इन अ लैंग्वेज, स्टडी ऑफ वर्ड्स स्ट्रक्चर, स्टडी ऑफ मीनिंग इन अ लैंग्वेज। तो ऑप्शन सी करेक्ट होगा, स्टडी ऑफ मीनिंग इन द लैंग्वेज। व्हाट इज कॉमनली रिगार्डेड एज अ फाउंडर ऑफ मॉडर्न सिमेंटिक? नोम चॉम्स्की, फर्डिनेंड डी सोसर, माइकल ब्राइल, रोमन जैकबसन। ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट, माइकल ब्राइल। Which theory of meaning assumes that meaning is attached to words about originates in the mind as ideas? Referential theory of meaning, idential theory of meaning, mentalistic, cognitive and conceptual theories of meaning, prototype theory of meaning. Option B is correct, idential theory of meaning. What is the relationship between extension and intension in semantics? They are unrelated. Extension is more important than intention. Extension refers to the thing in the world, while intention refers to the concept mental images. Intention is more important than extension. तो ऑप्शन सी हमारे पास करेक्ट है कि एक्सटेंशन जो है वो थिंग्स इन द वर्ल्ड उसे रेफर करती है और इंटेंशन हमारी मेंटल कॉन्सेप्ट्स को रेफर कर रही होती है। Which type of antonyms include words that do not necessarily imply the negative of each other? Simple antonyms, complementary pairs, Gradable antonyms, binary pairs. Gradable antonyms. What does epistemic modality conveys in a language? Speaker attitude towards social factors, speaker degree of knowledge about semantics, speaker influence on the action or event, speaker permission for an action. तो हमारे पास ऑप्शन बी करेक्ट होगा, स्पीकर डिग्री ऑफ नॉलेज अबाउट समथिंग. What does witness evidentially in language involve? Smell perception, inference, assumption, direct observation of witnessing of an event. Option D correct होगा हमारे पास, direct observation of witness of an event. Who coined the term semantic? Semantic की term किसने coin की थी? नोम चॉम्स्की, फर्डिनेंड डी सोसर, माइकल ब्राइल, रोमन जैकबसन. Option C is correct, माइकल ब्राइल. What does evidentiality allows a speaker to communicate? Speaker's attitude towards social factors, speaker desires or necessities, speaker's influence on an action, speaker attitude to the source of information and evidence for a statement. तो option D हमारे पास correct होगा. What is the focus of lexical semantic? A study of meaning within a linguistic system, study of signs and symbols, study of meaning of individual words, study of how languages organized and express meanings. Option C correct होगा, study of meanings of individual words. Lexical semantics में study of meaning in the of individual words होती है. आगे जी हमारे पास chapter 21. What is the focus of pragmatics? Syntax, semantics, pragmatic, morphology. Option C correct होगा, pragmatic. What does dexis means? Detailed description, pointing via language, abstract concepts, generalization. Option B correct होगा, pointing via language. What does presupposition refer to? Presupposition किस चीज़ को रेफर कर रही होती है? Something the speaker assumes to be true before awareness. तो ऑप्शन ए हमारे पास करेक्ट होगा. Which is not one of Grice's maxims of conversation? इनमें से कौन जो है वो ग्राइस की जो मैगजीम्स थी उनमें इंक्लूड नहीं है? क्वांटिटी, रेलिवेंस, मैनर, नोवेल्टी. ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट. What does positive फेस इन द पोलाइटनेस थ्योरी रिफ्लेक्ट? यानी कि जो पोलाइटनेस थ्योरी है उसमें जो पॉजिटिव फेज है वो क्या चीज़ रिफ्लेक्ट, उसमें क्या रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा होता है? डिज़ायर टू हैव सेल्फ इमेज अप्रूव्ड बाय अदर, डिज़ायर नॉट बी इम्पोज्ड अपॉन, टैक्ट एंड मोडेस्टी, कंसर्न टू फॉर others time. Option A correct होगा, desire to have self image approved by other. What is the illocutionary act according to Austin? Austin के मुताबिक जो illocutionary act है वो क्या होता है? Literal meaning of the words, speaker intention in a turning word, effect of an utterance on thoughts or action, commitment of truth of expressed proposition. ऑप्शन बी करेक्ट होगा, स्पीकर इंटेंशन इन अटर्निंग वर्ड, यानी कि वर्ड्स को प्रोनाउंस करते वक्त स्पीकर की जो इंटेंशन होती है उससे हम कह सकते हैं इलोक्यूशनरी एक्ट. आगे जी हमारे पास चैप्टर 22. व्हाट डज लेबव रेजिस्ट फॉर मैनी ईयर्स? सोसाइटियल नॉर्म्स, सोशियोलिंग्विस्टिक्स नॉर्म्स, लिंग्विस्टिक्स, एम्पेरिकल स्टडीज. ऑप्शन बी इज करेक्ट, सोशियोलिंग्विस्टिक्स. According to the Hudson, what is a variety of language? Dialect, an accent, an object, a set of linguistic item with similar social distribution. Option D is correct. ये जो D पे इन्होंने स्टेटमेंट दी हुई है ये हडसन ने लैंग्वेज की वैरायटी की डिफिनेशन बताई थी. आगे जी हमारे पास व्हाट इज पिजन? A native language, a language without a native speaker, a regional dialect, a lingua franca. Option B is correct, a language without native speaker. तो ये MCQs में ऐसे भी पूछा जा सकता है कि a language without native speaker, तो उस language को क्या कहते हैं? Pidgin. How does Treadgill define bilingualism for individuals? The ability to speak multiple languages, simultaneous acquisition of two languages, the practice of alternatively using two languages, या मल्टीलिंगुअल प्रोफिशिएंसी. तो ऑप्शन ए करेक्ट होगा, द एबिलिटी टू स्पीक मल्टीपल लैंग्वेज. डायग्लोसिक सिचुएशन एग्जिस्ट इन सोसाइटी व्हेन इट हैज़ टू डिस्टिंक्ट लैंग्वेजेस. यहाँ पे कुछ एमसीक्यूज है जिनके साथ ऑप्शन नहीं है, जस्ट उनका मैंने यहाँ पे करेक्ट जो है ऑप्शन वही मेंशन किया है. तो डायग्लोसिक सिचुएशन जो होती है वो एग्जिस्ट करती है सोसाइटी में व्हेन इट हैज़ टू डिस्टिंक्ट लैंग्वेज. ठीक है. अबाउट 7,000 languages are spoken in a world of about 200 nation states. Vanrage is the practice of alternatively using two languages. तो ये वाला पूछा जा सकता है कि the practice of alternatively using two languages उसको क्या कहते हैं? Vanrage. Men are more likely to interrupt than women to show their dominance. According to different theory, talk between women and men is क्रॉस कल्चरल कम्युनिकेशन। जेंडर इज अ सोशल कंस्ट्रक्ट, तो ये पूछा जा सकता है जेंडर इज अ सोशल कंस्ट्रक्ट। इसके डिफरेंट और भी ऑप्शन हो सकते हैं, तो आपने याद रखना है जेंडर इज अ सोशल कंस्ट्रक्ट। ईच ऑफ कोड रिप्रेजेंट्स अ सेट ऑफ सोशल मीनिंग इज कॉल्ड मेटाफोरिकल कोड स्विचिंग। द वैरायटी विच इज रिलेटेड टू द स्पीकर सोशल बैकग्राउंड इज कॉल्ड सोशल एक्ट। Tendency to use different codes in different situations is called situational code switching. Native-like control over two languages and equal mastery of two languages is called native-like proficiency. आगे जी हमारे पास चैप्टर 23। What is goal of discourse analysis? To analyze sentence structure, to examine how discourse elements are co-interpreted, to focus on individual words, to study the origin of the language. Option B is correct, to examine how discourse elements are co-interpreted. What does the question refer to in a discourse? Power dynamics, grammatical or lexical relationships, intertextuality, speech act. Option B is correct, grammatical or lexical relationships. What is ellipsis in discourse? Adding a word for emphasis, leaving out a word or phrase for a reason of economy, emphasis or style, substituting one word for another, referring to a pronoun. Option B correct होगा हमारे पास. Why is classroom transactions not considered conversation according to Cook? It is a formal and planned. It involves unequal power balance. It has large number of participants. Turns are not short. Option B is correct. It is involve unequal power of balance. How is the cooperation in conversation managed? Through grammar rules, through turn taking, through interpretations, through interruptions, and through lengthy turns. Option B is correct, through turn taking. आगे जी हमारे पास चैप्टर नंबर 24। What is distinctive phonological feature in South Asian English? यानी कि South Asian English में distinctive features क्या हैं? Pronunciation of most monophthongs as diphthongs, pronunciation of most diphthong as simple vowel, absence of vowel reduction in unstressed syllable, and strict maintenance of tense and lags vowel distinction. Option B is correct, pronunciation of most diphthong as a simple vowel. In African English, what is notable syntactic characteristics marked by Book-Amba? Strict adherence to standard English articles, frequent use of passive voice constructions, omission of function words like article, consistent use of complex sentence structure. तो ऑप्शन सी करेक्ट होगा जी, omission of function words like article. What does the text suggest about teaching and learning of English in a context of word Englishes? Native speakers should exclusively teach English in all contexts. Word Englishes should be excluded from formal teacher preparation. Acknowledgement of ideological identity and attitude issues is unnecessary. New approaches should consider the shift in attitude and method suitable for diverse language context. Option D correct होगा. What is an effect of the world Englishes paradigm on testing according to the text? Increased bias favored inner circle English in standardized test, reduced acceptance of local regional norms and models, persistence of linguistic imperialism in teaching material, effort to decrease inner circle biases in standardized text and teaching material. Option D is correct. What is common grammatical innovations in African English mentioned by Book-Amba? Strict adherence to English and syntax rule, frequent use of archaic vocabulary, omission of function words like article, overuse of complex sentence structure. Option C is correct. South Asian English, which item is commonly used as a general tag according to Kachru? Why not? How is it not it? Right. तो is it not it ये वाला जो आइटम है वो ज़्यादा यूज़ होता है साउथ एशियन इंग्लिश में अकॉर्डिंग टू कचरू। आगे जी हमारे पास चैप्टर 30। What is primary focus of curriculum development in language teaching? Theoretical concepts, practical activities, cultural philosophy, historical perspective. Option B is correct, practical activities. According to text, what question does the curriculum aims to answer? Who should teach? How much time is allocated? Why should student be educated? All of the given above. तो ये सारे ऑप्शन करेक्ट हैं, all of the given option. How is a syllabus different from a curriculum? A syllabus is theoretical while curriculum is practical. Syllabus guides teacher while curriculum guides policy makers. A syllabus deals with general goals while curriculum is localized. तो यहाँ पे हमारे पास बोथ ए एंड सी जो ऑप्शन है वो करेक्ट होंगे। एक तो सिलेबस जो होता है वो थ्योरेटिकल होता है और जो करिकुलम होता है वो प्रैक्टिकल होता है, और सी में ये उन्होंने बताया कि सिलेबस जो होता है वो जनरल गोल्स डील कर रहा होता है और जो करिकुलम होता है वो लोकलाइज्ड होता है। आगे जी हमारे पास व्हाट इज द मेन फोकस ऑफ इंग्लिश फॉर स्पेसिफिक पर्पस। जो ईएसपी होती है उसका मेन गोल क्या होता है? जनरल लैंग्वेज प्रोफिशिएंसी, एकेडमिक एंड डिसिप्लिन नीड्स, कल्चरल अंडरस्टैंडिंग, हिस्टोरिकल लिंग्विस्टिक्स। ऑप्शन बी इज करेक्ट, एकेडमिक एंड डिसिप्लिनरी नीड्स। Why did the ESP movement emerge in the 1950s according to the text? To promote general language proficiency, to prepare students for language exams, to address the language needs for specific groups such as university students and immigrants, to focus on literary aspects of English. ऑप्शन सी हमारे पास करेक्ट होगा। आगे है जी, what is the purpose of need analysis in language teaching? To assess students' level of language acquisition, to identify the gap between student abilities and needs, to determine language skills need for specific roles. All of the given option is correct answer. आगे जी हमारे पास चैप्टर 31। How are the term goal and aim used in curriculum discussions? Interchangeably to refer to specific purpose, interchangeably to refer to the general purpose, interchangeably to refer to the purpose and objectives, aim refer to general purposes, goal refer to the specific purposes. Option D is correct. What is the main purpose of aim statement in curriculum development? To provide a clear definition of program purposes, to focus on a learner activities, to guide teachers and learner। तो ये सारे जो ऑप्शन है ये करेक्ट है हमारे पास, डी ऑप्शन करेक्ट होगा, ऑल ऑफ द अबव। How are objectives related to aim statement in curriculum development? Objectives are general, aim statements are specific, objectives are concrete, aim statements are abstract, objectives result from an analysis of aim statement, objectives focuses on learner activities. Option C is correct. What does course planning involve in language program development? Choosing course content only, planning the course structure only, developing a course rationale, and choosing course content. Course planning is not specified in text. Option C is correct. What does scope refer to in determining the scope and sequence of curriculum? Depth of coverage of item, the time duration of the course, number of teachers involved, the location of course. Option A is correct, depth of coverage of items. According to text, what is a key component in most language programs? Course rationale, curriculum evolution, instructional material, teacher qualified. Option C is correct, instructional material. What does formative evolution focus on? Formative evolution किस चीज़ पे फोकस कर रही होती है? Finding out what is working well, determining the value of curriculum, making decisions about program worth, assessing learners' motivation. Option A is correct, finding out what is working well. आगे जी हमारे पास चैप्टर 32। What is the primary advantage of using literature in ESL teaching as mentioned in the text? Enhancing vocabulary skills, fostering communicative language learning, developing academic and occupation related goals, simplifying language learning. Option C is correct. According to the text, what is one criticism of using English literature in ESL teaching? It lacks cultural complexity, it doesn't contribute to academic goals, it focuses too much on communicative language, it's not suitable for English for ESP. तो ऑप्शन सी हमारे पास करेक्ट होगा, it focuses too much on communicative language. What characteristics of literature mentioned in the text is essential for its use in ESL teaching? Static meaning, cultural and language enrichment, simplicity, unresponsiveness to diversity. Option B is correct, cultural and language enrichment. What should be a key consideration when selecting literary text for ESL courses according to the text? Use of outdated words, text being too easy, cultural complexity, lack of interest to student. तो ऑप्शन सी करेक्ट होगा हमारे पास, cultural complexity. How does literature contribute to writing skills in ESL as per the information provided? By providing overly simplified models, by offering subject matter for imitations, by avoiding emotional involvement. Option B correct होगा, by offering subject matter for imitation. What is mentioned as a benefit of using drama in ESL teaching based on literature? Reducing oral skills development, focusing slowly on comprehension, motivating students to achieve a clearer comprehension, eliminating the need for creative expression, motivating students to achieve a career comprehension. आगे हमारे पास चैप्टर 36। What does CAL stand for in the context of language teaching and learning? A computer assisted language learning. ठीक है, आपने याद रखना है CAL stand for computer assisted language learning. यहाँ पे और भी ऑप्शंस दिए हुए हैं जैसे कि कंप्यूटर एप्लीकेशन लिंग्विस्टिक एंड लिटरेचर, कम्युनिकेटिव अप्रोच टू लैंग्वेज लर्निंग. तो आपने याद रखना है कंप्यूटर असिस्टेड लैंग्वेज लर्निंग. अकॉर्डिंग टू गैरेट, हाउ इज कॉल डिफाइंड नाउ? इसको हम कॉल को डिफाइन किस तरह से कर सकते हैं? तो ऑप्शन डी में जो इसकी डिफिनेशन दी हुई है वो करेक्ट है. फुल इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी into language learning with theory, pedagogy and technology playing important roles. तो ऑप्शन डी करेक्ट होगा. आगे जी हमारे पास व्हाट इज वन एडवांटेज ऑफ यूजिंग स्काइप इन लैंग्वेज टीचिंग एज मेंशन्ड इन द टेक्स्ट? ओनली सुटेबल फॉर फॉर्मल लैंग्वेज लर्निंग, लिमिटेड टू इंडिविजुअल बुक able lessons, allows user to make telephone or video calls and conduct group conferences. तो ऑप्शन सी करेक्ट होगा. According to Butler, Pascal, what is one advantage of technology for ESP English for specific purpose? Option C is correct. Facilitate focused practice for the development of various language skills. What is primary function of concordance in language learning as mentioned in the text? Creating virtual environment for language learning, alphabetical list of the words and phrases, facilitating the collaborative learning. तो option B correct होगा, alphabetical list of words and phrases. What does Dornay defines as motivation in the context of human action? Complexity of cognitive simulations, the direction and magnitude of human action, the comprehensive theory of motivation. Option B is correct, the direction and magnitude of human action. How does motivation positively influence students' learning ability according to the text? By reducing cognitive processing, by minimizing effort in the language process, by guiding behavior towards language learning goals and increasing effort. Option C is correct. According to Dornay, why is motivation considered as a central component of successful learning? It simplifies the learning process, it leads to immediate achievements, it is a key factor in understanding the L2 learning phenomenon, it focuses only on cognitive processing. तो option C हमारे पास correct होगा. What is primary focus of factor affecting L2 motivation discussed in topic? A physical environment factor, attitudinal and social contextual factor, linguistic factor, cultural factor only. Option B हमारे पास correct होगा, attitudinal and socio-cultural factor. According to L2 motivational self system, what does the ideal L2 self represent? Preventing negative outcomes in the future, external motivation for learning language, desired qualities and aspiration in L2, intrinsic reward for the teacher. Option C is correct, desired qualities and aspirations in L2 learning. How does the text suggest reducing L2 learning as anxiety? Enriching audience behavior, ignoring the thoughts causing fear, creating a relaxed and reassuring classroom atmosphere. Option C हमारे पास correct होगा, creating a relaxed and reassuring classroom attempts. What is identified as a bidirectional relationship in the context of teacher and student motivation? A teacher's enthusiasm and commitment, intrinsic and extrinsic reward for teachers, external influence and teachers motivation. तो option A correct होगा, teacher enthusiasm and commitment. Chapter 38 है जी हमारे पास. According to Halliday, what are the three heuristic categories relevant to ELT in language learning? तो 3 कैटेगरीज जो है वो ऑप्शन बी में जो बताई गई है वो करेक्ट है. लैंग्वेज लर्निंग, लर्निंग थ्रू लैंग्वेज, लर्निंग अबाउट लैंग्वेज. हाउ डज Fairclough connect language and ideology in critical discourse analysis (CDA)? Language is relevant to the expression of ideologies. Language is used to express but not enact ideologies. Language is primarily medium for acquiring ideologies. Option D is correct. Language structures are ideologies marked. According to Thunseless, what roles does language plays in relation to culture? Option B is correct. Language shapes culture and culture shapes language. What is primary interest in the field of language learning and ELT regarding language and identity? Understanding linguistic diversity, analyzing linguistic structure, exploring the relationship between language and identity. Option C is correct. Exploring the relationship between language and identity. According to Pragmatics, what is ownership of English language in a multilingual settings? Owned solely by native speaker, a contestant and multi magnificated issues, limited to non-native speaker, irrelevant in multilingual context. Option B is correct, are consistent and magnificated issues. आगे जी हमारे पास चैप्टर नंबर 39. According to MC Millian and Shoemaker, how do they define research? Exploration and discovery process, systematic study of materials, collection and analysis of information for a purposes. तो ये सारे जो ऑप्शन है ये हमारे पास करेक्ट है, all of the given. What is the primary reason for growing importance of research in ELT worldwide? Key to teacher development, expansion of English language programs, professional skills enhancement for teachers. तो ये भी सारे ऑप्शन करेक्ट है, all of the given. What are the historical factors contributing to the global spread of English as mentioned in the text? A cultural imperialism and symbolic value, colonial legacies and economic development, globalization, British Empire, American expansion, and more. Option C is correct. What is one way to enhance research culture in Pakistani education system? Increase the budget for universities, introduce more theoretical courses, training to spread awareness about research grants, decrease the emphasis on practical knowledge. Option C is correct. Training to spread awareness about research grants. What area of research in ELT focuses on analyzing both spoken and written text to investigate source of power, dominance, bias, and inequality in language? Contrastive analysis, conversational analysis, corpus linguistics, critical discourse analysis. Option D is correct. What does computer-assisted language learning involve? Computer-assisted language learning. Teaching through traditional method, use of the computer for teaching, presentation and assumption, exclusively written language analysis, comparative studies of teaching method. Option B is correct, use of computers for teaching, presentation and assessment. Which research areas deals with the comparison of languages that are socio-culturally linked? A contrastive analysis, word English is input to applied disciplines, bilingualism and language learning. Option A is correct, contrastive analysis. Chapter 40 है हमारे पास. What is the focus of ELT? Teaching method in ELT, history and challenges of ELT in Pakistan, global trends in ELT, role of the technology in ELT. History of challenges of ELT in Pakistan. What is one of the major challenges of ELT in Pakistan? Lack of student interest, limited resource for research, insufficient funding for educational institutions, over emphasis on practical knowledge. Option C is correct. How does topic assess the role of academic institution in Pakistan in dimensioning knowledge and skills of English language? Highly successful, not mentioned in the text, in need of improvement, unrelated to ELT, need of improvement. What does the text discuss regarding the role and performance of ELT teachers in Pakistan? ओवर एम्फोसिस ऑन थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज, तो ये हम ऊपर पढ़ चुके हैं. अच्छा, यहाँ पे उन्होंने डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस दिए हैं. ओवर एम्फोसिस ऑन थ्योरेटिकल knowledge, lack of teachers motivation, not covered in the text, unavailability of teaching resources. Option B is correct, lack of teacher motivation. What aspect of ELT in Pakistan is committed in the topic? A student participation in ELT, quality of ELT textbooks, technological advancement in ELT curriculum design. Option B is correct, quality of ELT textbook. तो ये थे जी इंपॉर्टेंट MCQs. इंशाल्लाह ये वीडियो आपके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल होगी. दुआ में याद रखिएगा. बेस्ट ऑफ लक फॉर योर एग्जाम्स. अल्लाह हाफिज़.